go to 13B1 if it's okay. This is report regarding facility maintenance and operations projects. Dr. Gonzalez. Well, no, we have to wait until 6 o'clock.
10.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. President. For 13B1, the Facilities Maintenance and Operation Department's been working hard, and this is a monthly report from our FMO Executive Director, Mr. Ruben Trevino, for our Facilities Maintenance and Operations projects, and he'll walk us through the projects, and this is for information purposes only. Mr. Trevino.
Good evening, members of the board. Superintendent Gonzalez, I'm here to present on the ongoing and completed projects with the Facilities Maintenance and Operations Department here at McAllen ISD. We have our culinary arts lab renovation that is currently ongoing. The equipment has already been received. Today we received one last component that we were still pending, which was the refrigerator cooler that goes by the demonstration area. The flooring is now being installed. The process started this morning on the poured epoxy flooring that the culinary arts lab will be having. We also have the Memorial High School roof replacement, which is now pretty much getting into the 50% area of completion. We have McAllen High School HVAC improvements, which is now ongoing, but as of Wednesday of this week, it should be substantially complete. That is a substantial completion date for Mac High HVAC. Which is the 27th of this week. We also have the restroom partitions, which are fixing to get started as soon as the materials arrive for two McAllen High School and Memorial High School as well. We also have our Agricultural Learning Center. Our Agricultural Learning Center, I know that we had talked about the October 15th date, the last month and a half. We're now 10 days past the October 15th date. As per the contractor, he cannot give us an exact date, but we are now able to start moving in portable pins into the covered area or the pavilion area. So we will begin doing that. FMO will be assisting our CTE department so that we're able to transport all of the portable panels that we have stored at the FMO parking area, and we can begin to install a lot of the portable pins in the covered area, beginning on the west side, working east. We also have fire alarms that are ongoing, and they're on schedule, which is Kathy, Travis, and Crockett. Our intercoms are also being worked on, Garza, Gonzalez, and Fields. And also, we also have the inclusive park at Sanchez Elementary. That project is still ongoing. I know I visited the site on Friday morning, and we may have some updated pictures, but that particular project is the project that we are working together with the three different entities. There's a full pour surfacing that is pending, and one section of the sidewalk that was now pending, as you can see here. That area that is fenced, that is a dedicated area where the restroom facilities will be going, which that is the City of McAllen portion of it. And then if we go to that slide, that's the sidewalk that is pending that leads from the handicap accessible parking spaces into the playscape. And then we have the pictures that you see here, which you can see where the only thing pretty much missing now is the actual full pour rubberized surfacing, safety surfacing that goes on. Pretty much the structure looks awesome. Everything looks in great condition. As you can see there, it's pretty much complete.
Ruben, that falls under our insurance umbrella, whether something happens and it tears the canopies off?
Once the project is complete, I want to say yes, because we are going to be taking that in as a donation as a school district, and that would have to be added to our insurance umbrella. Okay. Our next slide is the upcoming Morris Middle School Park Improvement Project. We've also been working with the city Parks and Rec Department on this particular project here. On these two slides, you see the proposal that the city sent to us. They're proposing some public restrooms, which you see on the bottom right on the left slide. You also see a decomposed granite track, some field lighting that they're proposing, along with some canopies, bleachers, benches, and a designated entrance to the park. The trail that goes all the way around will be going from the Morris area on the north side to the Perez area right on the south of the building. You'll also see that football field or slash soccer field that will be lighted. That is on the detention area on the bottom part. They're also proposing a full sprinkler system along with a either sodded field or a hydromulch type seeded field. But nevertheless, it'll be fully sprinklered as well. And also they're proposing lighting for the tennis courts on the bottom left, on the left slide. You'll see 4 small dots around the tennis courts. Those are light posts that are being proposed. So we'll have lighted tennis courts along with a lighted practice field at Morris Middle School. This particular project is right now in discussion. I know that met briefly last week with Mr. Crane, and he will be reviewing an MOU that will be brought forth to the board for approval. And then once that is processed, then that'll get going.
Ruben,
Yes,
going back to the contract with the city, are they given dates on when they're going to do that? Or-
That was a discussion with Mr. Crane, myself, and Ms. Benavides. I think Mr. Crane will be sending out some information in regards to dates and specifics on the project.
Because everything looks great on the map, but if they don't follow through with it, then where does that put us? I'm not
Correct.
saying that they won't,
Yeah.
but I think it keeps both parties in check and sometimes they need stuff from us in order for them to do. So if there's certain dates that we need to give them access or whatever, that all that's planned accordingly so that there's no excuses and it can be a smooth transition. I think, that would, because I don't know if that's outlined in the MOU or not, on when they're going to finish it, or I know the city has approved it already, but I don't think there's certain dates laid out for them, and I think that we need to specify that.
Correct. There's not specific dates, but I do know that they're phasing it out as far as phase 1 and phase 2. So that will be part of the MOU.
So is phase 1 3 years from now, or is phase 1?
That
6
is
months?
where Mr. Crane will be working with their legal team to be able to finalize the dates.
Since, were you done, Marco? I'm sorry.
Trustee Suarez, you still have the floor, sir.
Oh, no,
You're done?
I'm done.
Trustee Peña.
Since you're doing that, my question was going to be, the Sanchez Park, same thing, has the city indicated when they may start those bathrooms? It would be a shame to have that playscape ready to go, and the district has put in their part, and so has the county and Capable Kids, but the city doesn't, you can't really use that area without the bathrooms. So, same thing, is the city, did they give us any kind of timeline on that bathroom structure?
As of this point, no. I know that they've started on their area, but we will schedule a meeting this week to be sure to get a briefing on what their expected timeline is for those facilities over at the park.
Well, I was going to save until, does anybody have any other questions regarding the Morris?
I do.
Sorry.
Go ahead, trustee. No, it's quite all right. You can take it in any order. I just want to state, because I have to make a comment on this one, and I want to wait until the board has
I'm
a
done.
chance. Trustee Alvarado.
It might be for our athletic director. Do you mind coming up? I think this looks great, and I like the fact that we have a soccer field there. I'm just curious, do you plan to, they can absolutely practice there, I get it, but are you planning to have any games there for soccer?
We would have to look at that as far as bleachers and all of that to have games there.
Yeah.
And see if it's going to be enough lighting.
Well, and it probably not a good idea, I guess is where I'm getting at, because I think they would be excited to want to have games there,
Yeah.
but then it would open up a can of worms for other middle schools that don't have.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. I'm pretty sure you're going to bring it up, but I just publicly want to state it because, when someone sees that, they're like, oh, can we play games there? And I
Right.
would love to, be the first one to say that, but then it's going to put the other school districts at a disadvantage.
Yeah, we would have to have enough bleachers on either side to have the fans and all of that to have a good game there if we
Right.
did have a game there.
Right,
But that would save on transportation costs for Morse. They wouldn't have to travel anywhere else for
Right.
possible soccer games or football games. But you have to make sure you have enough bleachers in order to hold a good game because they bring the crowd every week.
yeah, I mean, the old Morris principal would have been watching this and would have been like, I want to play my games there. But since they're the AD, I just kind of wanted to point that out because I know that's been always
Right.
It's always concern or an issue if we, but then again, we do have tracks at Brown, right? But
Yes,
we do
yes.
have some other places that does not cross the same, so we see how
Exactly.
it plays out. So anyway, I just wanted to bring it up for discussion.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's all I have, sir.
Yes, sir. Any other questions or comments?
My last comment, sir, if you don't mind. I really want to give kudos to not only the city administration that we've been working with, because they're very open and ready to go. Trustee Eliseda has really spearheaded this project, and, you know, she's really made her point clear. Obviously, she lives in the area, and it was good to have her input right there, because it was something that she knows exactly what she's asking for and what that community wants. So thank you, Trustee Eliseda, for your leadership there.
Thank you, Tony. In fact, that was my comments as well. I want to thank the mayor of the city of McAllen and Commissioner Tony Aguirre from District 1. I want to thank the city manager and obviously superintendent of schools, yourself, Ms. Arelli, and my fellow trustees, Trustee Forina and Trustee Aliceda. When the board was talking about Morris and some concerns there from the community, we felt it was important to have some conversations, and it was suggested that we meet with the mayor and the commissioner, and so we had those conversations. We had 2 meetings. This property is actually owned by the city. It was sold by the school district to the city for $440,000 back in 2005, with the understanding that a park would be built there over a short period of time, and time has passed. Actually, there were 3 properties: Jackson Elementary, McCullough Elementary, and Morris. The other 2, the city did complete parks. This one, for whatever reason, you know, kind of went on the back burner. But nonetheless, to answer Trustee Suarez's point, it's at least 2 phases. The first phase being the biggest phase. I think they already allocated anywhere from $800,000 to $900,000 for phase 1, which includes the track and the lighting. And then the second phase, the hope is next year to do the second phase, the third year at the very latest. But the city is committed to completing this park and putting all their time and energy and effort. But the one that led our conversation, and I really appreciate her answering my questions and giving us insight. She gave it some thought for some times, is Trustee Aliceda, and that she was the lead on this, and the rest of us were listening and learning, and we are at this point because of that. So we're looking forward to the MOU and for the completion of phase 1, and then soon thereafter phase 2, and we want to thank the city for a continued partnership.
Will do. Our next slide, we have the 3 high school black box theaters these are upcoming district projects that we have on the drawing board. We've met with the design team last week. They're proposing a meeting this week with our fine arts department, our facilities department, to introduce the first set of schematics to be able to see what the square footages are, where we're at, and to be able to determine the initial set of schematic drawings and move forward from there. We also have the Houston roof upgrade that's upcoming, the district-wide marquees, the 8 cafeteria expansions and modifications that we're currently working on. We're currently working on Jackson, Milam, Seguin, Gonzalez, Garza, Wilson, Brown, and De Leon. And this is the first phase of, I believe, 22 cafeteria expansions that we'll be doing as a district. And this is the first phase that we've already got started with the feasibility study with our engineering firm, Half & Associates, that took the lead on this. And they've been working diligently on these 8 cafeteria expansions. We also have the 50 bottled water filling stations, the Crockett roof replacement, and the McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium press box that is ongoing and upcoming right now. On our next slide, we have the 3 high school baseball turf fields that are upcoming as well, with the 3 high school softball turf fields as well. Here we have a preliminary design that we've put on the preliminary set of drawings that we're working with. That is the McAllen ISD logo that we currently have at each football, soccer stadium that we have at each high school. And in this one here in the center field, we're including the mascot for each high school on both fields, softball and baseball. And then by home plate, we have the halo, which will be the mascot. And this is what we're proposing, solid green on the baseball field with the warning track all the way around in a different color. And then on the softball, which is the left, You have the fully skinned infield. In this case, it'll all be turf completely, and these are 100% turf. On our next slide, we also have the upcoming district projects that are currently being worked on by our design professionals, which is Half Associates on these projects here. We have the Memorial High School HVAC upgrade, the Roll High School, Lamar Academy, De Leon, the Travis Middle School tied in with the roof upgrade, and then chillers for Milam, Jackson, and Alvarez. Along with, when I say chillers, these are 3 chillers that are getting replaced that are due to arrive here in the next 2 to 3 weeks to FMO. And then we have the additional 18 chillers that I proposed last week on our report, or last month on the previous report. These projects right here total, and thanks to the administration, thanks to the board for allocating these funds here total approximately $16 to $17 million of upgrades that we'll be doing to our facilities that you see listed here with full-blown HVAC upgrades. So thank you all for your support, and we will continue submitting what the needs are. Our next slide is our submitted and work orders completed for the months of September, and we had 849 completed, 1276 submitted. And this concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Trevino, very well done. Any questions or comments from the board?
Just one quick question.
Trustee Arvelo.
Where are we on McAllen choir room? Is the AC issue been fixed?
That particular issue had been fixed, yes.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Well, you know what, now that you asked that question,
Yes, sir, Trustee Suarez.
may I?
Yes, sir. By all means.
Trustee Suarez.
Daddy, you okay?
Fine.
And that specific incident, was there, was the proper protocol taken? I know there was complaints made and there was letters written to the board, but had your office been notified that the air conditioning had been down for a week or two?
On one occasion, we were notified. On the second occasion, we had not seen anything come through for about 10 days, 10, 12 days.
Okay.
Once we saw, the phone calls and messages that came through, we sent somebody out there and we took care of the issue.
In the best 15 seconds that you could use, what's a proper protocol? So I'm in this room and I'm the instructor here and the AC is not working. What am I to do?
Contact your front office, or your campus administrator to submit a work order. If it's an emergency, if it's something that's a safety issue, pick up the phone and call right away. But the work order will follow,
And that's the protocol to take.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Suarez. Any questions or comments? Going back to Trustee Peña's point, and when we say, children will now have access, some of our children may be 35, 40, 50 years old. This will be the first time they get into an inclusion park. And so to her point, it's really important that those restrooms be in play, because many of them are such that they may have to have, devices drained and the like, or they have to have diapers changed. And so those restrooms will make it. Otherwise, families may not be able to go there and enjoy it because of those needs to get into those restrooms. So if you could, at the earliest, and maybe through a report, Dr. Gonzalez, let the board know so we're informed, and therefore we can inform the public as we get closer.
We will schedule the meeting with the City Parks and Rec and the meeting, and as soon as we have something, we will forward it to Dr. Gonzalez and
Thank you.
and advise the board.
Thank you very much. Appreciate all your work and
Yes.
everyone on FMNO.
Thank you.
Trevino. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, I did want to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Ruben Trevino, who presented this report to our high school student ambassadors, and they enjoyed the report, had a real good discussion with regard to FMO. So it was nice to see our students see that perspective in what we do with regard to FMO. Also, Ruben did a tremendous job presenting to the Superintendent Parent Advisory Committee, and again, a lot of great discussion with our families. And now he's here presenting to our board. So Ruben, thank you very much for all that you're doing to all of the FMO. We have a tremendous team, and also to our board, you see the magnitude of all the projects that are happening across the district, and that cannot happen without our tremendous board. So I wanted to thank each and every one of our board members, along with our executive leadership team. We make a great team, and we have a lot going on in our district.